Chronic fatigue syndrome. Doctors have been skeptical. Some even doubted its existence, despite the exhaustion felt by millions of women. But now, there is breaking news about this mysterious illness. For the first time, the government is saying millions of women have been right. This is a real physical illness, and they are redefining the entire disease. Dr. Jennifer Caudle is joining us. She says that for her patients and the countless women who suffer, this is a game changer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So why is this so significant? What's so special about this breakthrough?
Well, this is so important. This condition is real. It is not fake. It is not made up. And now science is backing it up. The Institute of Medicine has now proposed a new name called Systemic Exertion Intolerance Disorder.
Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Just a little bit. But it's called Systemic Exertion Intolerance Disorder. This is really important because this better reflects what's actually happening. Patients complain of being fatigued. They can't do the activities of their daily life. And this is good for doctors too, because now we have criteria for diagnosing it. And as you said, many doctors have been skeptical. I mean, I have to say, I've been skeptical myself in the past. This is really going to help patients. It's really going to help doctors. And this is a big deal.
All right, so let's help you by giving the symptoms that we think
Yes.
you'll be feeling. So there are over 2 million people that have already been diagnosed. There are many more that we believe have been missed. So this could be the real cause of many people's exhaustion. Could it be the cause of your exhaustion? There are new criteria for the diagnosis. This is important. 5 questions need to be answered. Every woman's got to answer these. The first question, do you have a profound, unexplained fatigue that's lasted 6 months or longer? If you don't mind, define what a profound fatigue is.
Imagine being wiped out, absolutely floored, wiped out, exhausted. And the activities that you do take much more energy than you know they should. That's really what extreme fatigue is.
All right. Second, do simple things, easy things like climbing a flight of stairs, exhaust you? Third, do you have unrefreshing sleep? Let's think about that. What is unrefreshing sleep? Please define the difference between being a little bit tired and unrefreshing sleep.
Sure. I think this has happened to a lot of us at some point in our lives, but imagine sleeping for 10 hours one night, but waking up and feeling like you only slept for 10 minutes. That's the feeling of unrefreshing sleep. You're just not rested.
All right. So those are the 3 key questions. There's 2 more. Do you often have a hard time focusing, or you feel like you've got a little bit of brain fog going on? And does standing for a short period of time make you feel even more tired?
And you know, actually researchers have started really putting the pieces together. They've looked at all the different studies and the symptoms that a lot of these patients have. They've found that a lot of people have worsening symptoms when they stand up. And that's really what we're talking about here. They might be better a little bit when you lie down, but standing seems to make symptoms a little bit worse.
All right, so 5 criteria.
Yes.
How does a doctor like you
Yes.
figure out if it's this new version, this purely defined version of chronic fatigue?
Well, I would say to patients, if you answered yes to 4 out of these 5 questions, then I'm talking to you.
So I want you all to meet Rose, who's been diagnosed with this disease, along with Dr. Ian Lipkin, who is making huge inroads in finding the cause. Thank you for being here, Rose. Dr. Lipkin. So when you first went to see a doctor with the symptoms that ultimately were diagnosed as this problem, what were you told?
Well, most of the time, nobody believed me. They thought I was crazy. They put me on lots of different medications, told me maybe I needed a little bit more sleep, maybe go to the gym, work out. But in the end, the biggest part was, as a woman, I felt like I was just crazy. Most of them said, you're a woman and you just need anti-anxiety medication. That's pretty much what ended up happening.
Anti-anxiety medication?
Mm-hmm. That's about all I've gotten so far.
Did you see more than one doctor?
I went everywhere. I went to my general doctor. I went to chiropractors. I went to an arthritis specialist, rheumatoid arthritis specialist. I've done blood work. I've tried everything.
What does this diagnosis mean for you? The fact that it's there now.
I'm validated. It's real. No one believes me. I wake up in the morning. I feel horrible. I don't get any sleep. Even my family doesn't believe me, and they're out there in the audience, okay? It's real, and I thought I was crazy. I really thought I was crazy.
Well, I want your family to believe you, but I want all the other families who are disbelieving as well to believe, and plus their doctors. Dr. Lipkin, you've made a huge amount of advances in this area. What have you discovered?
Well, we've been looking at this disorder since 1997. And what Rose has said is common. Most people who have these sorts of problems are not diagnosed for several years. And one of the reasons that this is the case is that there are no good diagnostic tests. Mm-hmm. You look for all these criteria and you try to find some way of saying, this is a common theme and it's likely you exclude everything else, and therefore they must have this disorder. So what we've been trying to do is to develop biomarkers. This is the term that means some sort of a finding in blood or someplace else which is unequivocal. Any doctor can look at this and say, this is a patient who has chronic fatigue syndrome, myalgic encephalomyelitis, so the long new acronym that we now have. So our work is really focused on trying to, first of all, come up with some sort of biomarkers that would allow us to readily diagnose somebody like you so you don't have to go through months and years of workup. And secondly, to get insights into why people become ill. We think that this is likely to be an infectious disorder, something that triggers an abnormality in the immune system, which then results in all these problems that you're describing.
Great.
So what does that mean in terms of being able to diagnose it and treat this problem?
So as anyone here who's had flu or any other sort of an infectious disease will tell you, when you have all these chemicals running around in your bloodstream called cytokines, you don't feel well. And what happens with people with chronic fatigue syndrome is that they feel like they're ill. They feel like they're chronically ill. They have low energy, they have the unrefreshing sleep, all the other things. So what we're trying to do is to find out what might trigger this disorder. And the way to do that is to look in the blood, in the mouth, in the, in the lower gastrointestinal tract for bacteria and viruses that might in fact result in these abnormalities in the immune system, which would then make you feel the way you feel.
Crappy.
Crappy. Crappy.
You
All the
know,
time.
the reason that I feel so passionate about this topic, and again, it comes up periodically, but this is probably the best example I can think of. Women often are ignored with legitimate problems that we can't put our finger on. And this should give hope, not just for chronic fatigue, but for many other ailments out there we haven't figured out. And the fact that we're now able to get top virus hunters to be able to focus in on the fact that this is probably an infection. Imagine polio. Go back 50 years. Right? When polio was out there and we were petrified from it, you're playing life differently, like so many of you are, Rose.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, if we can give you a shot and polio is not there, it's no longer something we think about day in and day out. This is emblematic of how we are advancing medicine, which is why this discussion today is so important. So Dr. Caudle, if someone is suffering from chronic fatigue, besides feeling validated and not insane,
Right.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
stopping their anti-anxiety medications, what can they do if they're suffering?
Well, I think there's a lot of different ways to approach the issue, and being hopeful, I think, is one of the best things we can do. But every doctor is very different. I like to approach and really deal with the stress and anxiety that comes along with this condition. It can be very stressful
Yes.
and very anxiety-provoking. One thing I think is really important is to pace yourself. Okay, and that's a really big thing. In fact, I have a prescription for everyone out there who think they might be dealing with this. It's called the not to-do list.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
we have our to-do list, but really this is the not to-do list. It's really a prescription to slow things down, to take it down a notch, to back up and do things at your own pace. So instead of having a whole to-do list, you've got your not to-do list, which has got your 3 top things that you really want to get done in one day, and really working on those things at your own pace so that you can get them done, feel good about what you're doing, and also manage the symptoms.
Good advice.
What would it mean for you if Dr. Lipkin and colleagues are able to really find a cure,
Ugh.
a treatment?
I feel like finally I'm validated. It's real. I mean, no one believes me. Almost didn't believe myself. I thought maybe I'm crazy.
And if you were treated and felt better, what would you do differently?
Back to the tennis court, skiing. I haven't done anything in 10 years. I can't ride my bike anymore.
10 years.
10 years I've been struggling. Discs, they've named it everything. But more importantly, it's anxiety. You're stressed. Too much to do. Stop working. Rest. Doesn't work.
Let's fix you and millions of people like you.
Thank
you
you.
for being here, Dr. Lipkin. Congratulations for your work, Dr. Caudle. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.